Hi, and welcome to Screens in Focus podcast, where we share and connect as we spotlight our favorite shows and movies. I'm Diana, and today we're talking about Fear the Walking Dead, Season 7, Episode 16, and our recommendations on Bling Empire, Interceptor, Lincoln Lawyer, and more. How are you doing today, Margaret?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
No, I'm fine. I just want to see what you do. I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm good. How are you? You're always peppy.
Pepe
Peppy
Le
Le
Pew.
Pew. Oh! Hey.
Yeah. I'm feeling peppy. Hey, so our Top Gun Maverick episode is out, and, well, we have a question of the day, but we also have a second kind of question of the day, and it's, what is your call sign? So I went on and did this quiz, what'syourcallsign.com, and my call sign was hype.
Hype? Why?
Yeah, I like it. Come on. I like it. I'm hyped up, man. I'm hyped up. So I thought it was cool. Come on. You need to be more excited. I like it.
But what were their call signs?
It was, one was Hardshell. That didn't go with Lee. That was not a good one for her. And Riptide was Joe's, and he liked it. And I liked that too. So I thought it was cool.
Yeah, that is good.
You have to go out and go out and check yours out.
Oh, and then I'll be spammed for the next 20 years.
Let's hope not. All right. Hey, so this is the season finale of Fear the Walking Dead, Season 7. I know, right? It ended on a high note.
But it blew by. Even though we panned quite a few of those for being very empty episodes, the season went by pretty fast.
It did. So this episode concentrated on someone collecting kids, right? And taking them away. And it reminded me of the last episode we saw with Alicia, how she saw herself as that little girl. So the question of the day, what age would you like to travel back to for one day? What do you think?
I don't know. That's a hard question. Only one day. So it has to be a very special, singular day.
No. It doesn't have to be.
So is it like to relive a day, or is it just to like experience life through that brain, that mindset?
Or maybe take what you know now in your life and go give that person your age, that knowledge, some knowledge. Or maybe it's just to go play in the sandbox with a friend that you liked. Or maybe it was making some sort of food with one of your parents, or maybe it was hanging out with one of your siblings, or maybe it was a friend, or maybe it was you went horseback riding and you remember this one horse. I don't know. It could be anything you want. So I'm the magic genie. Here's the lamp and I'm rubbing it. I'm telling you, Margaret,
all right,
you get to go back.
So a memory, it's really recalling a memory and a time in which you felt. So I guess, I didn't really have much of a childhood that I recall. For me, the idea or the concept really is to go back and maybe alter your path a little bit. But I don't think I would have altered my path at all, because I'm okay with everything that I've done and achieved and all that kind of stuff. I think that I would prefer to go back and experience a time when I was, 4 or 5, when I can remember a very specific memory, which was there was a carnival on the lake and we went to it, and it was this huge celebration in the middle of the wintertime. We were out on the frozen lake and there were just games and festivities and everybody's having a good time. And it was just a very, very unique, isolated experience because they never did it after that. Because the lake never got frozen enough for them to go out there and put all that stuff out there. And, so I guess that's a memory that I have buried really deep. But every so often it comes out. And I don't know why. But I think there's a little loss,
right,
for me. So it would be nice to go back and experience that and fully take it all in.
Fun to think about that, though.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know, a little sad, too. But,
I know. It always is.
Yeah. But at least it meant something. You have a reaction to it, a physical or emotional reaction to it, then you know it meant something.
Uh-huh.
So, but how old do you want to be? I mean, your life has been so full, chock full of stuff. I can't imagine.
I could recall so many things, so many times. Maybe I wanted to go back and be with my entire family when we were young at Christmas. Those were always the best times. So you would expect me to probably say that. But you know what? I was just thinking about this question earlier, and it just popped out that I wanted to be 20 again. And the reason I wanted to be 20, the reason I picked it, and I didn't want to give too much thought, it was just something that popped into my head, was because we had a party this weekend and one of the guests was 20. And she is a bright, beautiful, just a whole life ahead of her young woman. And I thought, oh man, I remember when I was 20. And I thought, wow, wouldn't it be great to go back and just throw some knowledge in there that I know now to shape, my life. Although I wouldn't want anything to change. Like I wouldn't want my family, my husband, my children, any of my friends to change. I wish I could still have all of that, but I would like to change my career decisions. I wish I would have gone for everything that I wanted to go for and just done it. And and I just really enjoy my work life now. So it's I wish it had come sooner.
Well, but it's a good way to end your end
yes,
on. So.
Absolutely. Right. And to know that it's never too late, right? You can always change the direction that you're going into. So that's the bottom line, right? Don't let fear get in your way. Just do what you want to do. All right, friends out there, what age would you like to travel back to for one day? We'd love to hear your thoughts, your stories, or just even the age. You could just write down the age. I would love to know. All right. Leave us a comment on social media, our website, or email at screensinfocus@gmail.com. The links are in the show notes. Okay. Let's get down to it. Fear the Walking Dead, Season 7, Episode 16, Gone. Morgan has landed in Louisiana and is mistaken as a collector. And he runs into the real collector who takes Mo and delivers her to people at Padre as Morgan searches for her, doing anything he can to get her back, and soon realizes that the collector is Madison. Whew. And then he has to deliver some harsh news about her kids, Alicia and Nick. Okay, Margaret, what did you think of the season finale of Season 7 of Fear the Walking Dead?
Finally, a reason to continue watching the show. I don't know if they base it on who they're working with, because they have some really good actors on that show, but it's like they ran out of content. And then they get Madison back, introduce her, and it shifts completely. So it kind of got back into the nitty gritty, me for myself, I'm going to fight till the death. And I really enjoyed it because the two are such phenomenal actors, and then just being able to engage. Yeah. No, they are though,
I got chills. Because I agree.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And I thought it was good. I was a little confused though, because the preview from last week, I thought was, for some reason I was thinking, oh, that's where Morgan ended up. And, we saw that. So he's washed, she shoots at him. So I thought that's how it was going to open. But it opened up with him in the tent in the trees.
Yeah.
And I was so confused. It's like, how did it get up there? Because I thought he was on the ground. I thought he had just landed. And he had the baby. So obviously he had spent some time there.
Yeah.
And was out. And then they, started telling stories. So then it started making sense. But I thought it was really, there's so many aspects of the show last night that I thought were very unique and very memorable and very visual. And just, it was like they finally found their inspiration. So I really, really enjoyed it.
I really liked it too. And I agree. I loved seeing the dynamic between Madison and Morgan. And I found myself, I'm thrilled Madison is back. But at the very beginning, I was like irritated with her. I'm like, what is she doing taking Mo? Why is she giving it to those people? Oh my God, I was Team Morgan. I was like, oh gosh, I hope that they don't keep like butting heads. I don't want to be on one team or the other. I want them to team up. Yeah. So, that was interesting, all of that. I was also surprised that what Madison was doing, but I knew that there had to be a good reason for it. I just knew there had to be, or else they would have brainwashed her. But also that even though she fulfilled what it was that she had to do for them, and it was revealed like halfway through why she continued to do it. But it was interesting that she allowed herself to believe it was in the best interest of the children, that she actually says that to people. So I thought that was kind of interesting that she allowed that, that thought, and for her to push that out to other people. And also her needing the oxygen. I thought that was so interesting because it made it that she was tied to these people because she needed oxygen to survive.
Yeah.
So it gave her a reason that she had to do what they want, besides feeling that her kids could be in jeopardy if they ever wanted to use that against her. But other than that, she needed the oxygen that they had, and they were going to keep it from her unless she did what they wanted her to do. So, and I like that it tied into, I knew immediately it was probably from the smoke from when she was in the fire, which I hope that they talk about how she got out of there, because that would be good to know. Just everything about it, that group wanting to find their kids, although they were kind of bumbling. They weren't, I like the one girl, Eva, the one that pretended to be pregnant. I really liked her, but the other group, I'm like, I don't know about them. And so I found it interesting that Madison didn't want to see her kids again, right? That was
no, but that wasn't real. That was just a facade.
I know, but she didn't want them. I feel like, I don't even know. There's so much. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves in this, but I know that she had said, she had told Morgan, that one toward the end there, that he's not too far gone, but she is. So she thinks she's too far gone. She doesn't want her kids to find her. So I just found that was interesting, although now she thinks that they're gone. And it was, Ava forced Morgan's hand in telling Madison that her kids were dead. And I really actually liked that part because then she wanted to know about her kids, right? Because he wasn't going to tell her. He was trying to hold that out because he wasn't going to tell her anything until he could get back to baby Mo. And he was, forced because they were in that crypt. And they were going to come in and get them. And so then Morgan at that point said, well, he doesn't have anything to offer them because Alicia and Nick were dead. Well, first he said they were dead, and then Madison wants to know how they died, and so he proceeds to tell them what happened to them. And then, but she does say, did you see her dead? Did you see her die? And he says, no, maybe she found a way. And so I'm like, oh my God, thank you, Morgan, for saying that, because I'm still holding out hope over here. I'm still holding out hope.
I know, but I think that whole, why would they want the kids? They're not kids. They're adults. What are they going to give them? Nothing. I don't understand why they would even be on the table for a trade or, oh, rescue me or release me if you grab my kids. And it doesn't make any sense to me because for this Padre thing, that whole premise made no sense to me.
Yeah, it didn't.
Because they're not babies. So what they're doing is they're trying to bring up a whole new population and train them and make that like probably communism, like they take kids who are athletically inclined and they put them in the system and they come out as these massively talented athletes, but it's all been beaten into them. They've all been drilled down to nothing, so they do as they're told, kind of like. So I don't know what kind of a socialist experiment this thing's going to be. This Padre.
Right, because they don't want them to have any attachment.
They don't want them to have anything.
No.
Emotionally or anything, it sounds like. They're just going to condition them to do what to do, toe the line, so to speak. So why would Nick and Alicia be valuable? That doesn't make any sense because they're well past that. They would fight to the death. They're not going to do.
Well, I don't think that they wanted them to be on the island. I think they were just going to use them to get, Madison to continue to do what she wanted to do. They were like, hey, you need to keep doing that. You're good at it. Otherwise, we're going to get your kids and we're going to do something to them unless you continue to get these kids.
Yeah, no, it's a little loose.
But a little loose. So there was a couple of revelations here, right? So one was when Morgan finds the Padre book and realizes that it does exist.
Yeah.
Also, how Morgan came to realize who Madison was.
Well, the tattoos are how he But, so when did she get those tattoos?
It looks as though when she was
new.
Captured, they looked like they were new when she was captured and being interrogated by those Padre people.
Yeah. So why is she so disconnected and so, I don't want anything to do with my kids? Why would she have these tattoos?
I think she got them before. But I thought she got them before because she covered them up when she was first being interrogated. So she must have been out on the road, put them on, then they interrogated her, and then they made her do what they wanted her to do. And then that's when she's like, okay, I don't want any connection with my kids because I don't want to put them in harm's way. And I don't want, this is what I need to do to protect them. And so, but I hopefully will find out more about that.
But I thought she was really doing the baby snatching so she could have the oxygen because they're supplying her with her life, which is the oxygen.
Well, they did, but then she said after she fulfilled whatever they needed to, she says, I knew that they would use my kids to make me continue to do this.
Yeah.
So she didn't want them to go find them and do it. So I know. Then they'd have to go to Texas and go find the kids.
Yeah, they're not even doing that. Yeah. They're getting all the other people to do that. All they're doing is hitting that spot, picking up what the booty is, and taking it home.
Mm-hmm. I also thought it was interesting that Morgan, I guess, sort of to get baby Mo back, he's willing to do anything because he's kind of willing to give up that girl and that baby. Even though he asks Madison, she's going to be okay, right? But I think he's just trying to make it better, make himself feel better for doing that. And because Madison does say, you're ready to cross that line or basically make a deal with the devil. But he kind of is. And he kind of puts on an acting job when they're up there talking to her. Although she really knows of course, she's doing her own acting job because she really isn't pregnant. And, she's after trying to find her own baby. I actually liked her as a character. She reminded me a little bit of Leah in The Walking Dead.
Oh, really?
A younger version, but I thought something about her eyes looked like her. Like if she was related, I would have believed it. Yeah. I also liked seeing Madison and her personality. I felt like it was Madison. Like we were reminded of the type of person Madison was because Madison wasn't always super likable. Like she did things that maybe weren't always okay or right, but she was willing to do them to save her family or her people. So, and we kind of see that here too. And she has a toughness about her, which I like because, I don't know, I just find that very interesting seeing a character like that.
A female character like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
But she does change toward the end there when she did tell Morgan that she wants to help him get baby Mo. And he says, why do you have a change of heart? Like what happened? I like that he asked her that. And then she says, because you're not too far gone, which reminds me of The Walking Dead. But that is probably why the episode is entitled Gone, because she feels she's gone. But he's not. So she's willing to help him. And I like that. I like it because they're going to team up and do their thing. I wondered how they would come together. So I really liked seeing that.
Yeah, it was interesting. And,
I feel like the theme, of course, you're in an apocalypse. So the theme seems to always be this, repetitiveness that people are lost and then they're saved. But that happens in this apocalyptic world. And it almost has to happen, right? Because these terrible things happen to you. So you react to them. And sometimes you get really down and you do the wrong thing, but then you got to get lifted again, right? You got to have that hope. You got to have that spirit. You got to have that mission, which is happening to her and has happened to Morgan too. Oh, I did like it when he said that he owed her. I like when Morgan said, I owe you because your kids brought me back because I was in the same place you were and I was ready to give up. But they brought me back because you gave them hope. So now in turn, because your kids did that for me, I need to do that for you. Oh, I love it, love it, love it. I thought that was very cool.
He's a good character.
He is.
I mean, he's evolved. So it's been, for me, it's been interesting to watch him from The Walking Dead, and then he suddenly appears on Fear. So it's been kind of fun to watch him evolve and become something else and have him be confused about what his purpose is and how he should be helping people or not helping people and what he should be killing and what he shouldn't be killing. And then, you know, the stick thing and all that spiritual stuff with that guy with the goat and the whole deal and the cage. And wow, that was a long time ago. So he's evolved since that point. So it's been, that's why I'm really kind of confused how he did not cross paths with Madison prior, because he is such a central figure to an awful lot of what is going on. But I guess not until now.
Yeah. I also, I thought it was interesting when they buried Madison in the sand and had her head sticking out, and he takes off to go save her. And, when he chops that walker's face off.
Yeah.
When he chops that walker's face off. Yeah. And then they start to see the walkers emerge from the water, and he notices that one walker has that stuffed animal. Yeah, that toy that was going to go to her daughter, Odessa. So he realizes it's Ava. Ooh, that was a hard moment for him, and I liked it. I liked seeing his reaction to that because it kind of caught him off guard, and he felt really responsible because she was kind of overpowering him. And I don't think it was because so much of physicality. I think it was just emotionally. Like, I think he was upset that he felt like he brought her into this. And
he didn't bring her into it. She was setting up the whole thing. She knew what they were doing.
I know, but he was willing to give her up.
I know, but she was
playing
everybody too. I mean, so you had three people with their own
agenda.
Exactly. And their own method in trying to get there. So everybody was deceiving everybody in some way, but ultimately everybody wanted to get back to Padre to retrieve their kid. Madison isn't really doing that, but she's trying to snuff the fires that are coming up. And, I think the only reason that she really went along with Morgan was when she realized that he has information that she wants, but he didn't have all of the information. He only had 50% of it, that Nick had died, So he didn't know anything about Alicia. And then, for her to say, I gave up on my kids and, I don't want to be in touch with them, all that other stuff. She's just protecting herself from the reality of the situation. Yeah. And not being vulnerable. So after you hit the point where, the two of them are now being isolated from the rest of when they're found in the crypt, and they haul her off, and then he goes to save her. It's kind of interesting because what happened, so they came and they took the evil lady, or Ava, whatever her name is, and Morgan was supposed to go along.
And he said, no, I'm not going to go with you. And they said, just don't get in our way. And he says, no, I'm not going to.
And so they didn't bother with him after that.
No.
So why not?
I think because that Ava woman said, just let him go.
Oh.
Just let him go. Like, he lost a kid too. Just let him go. And they're like, okay.
So they well, I don't know. And then they wash up on the shore, but the dock is on the other side of the lake, right?
Yeah, I wasn't sure what happened to them.
Yeah, we don't know.
Were they shot? Were they just shot or something? I mean, who's to say? They just walk up dead.
Yeah.
But I thought, as you were talking, two moments that stood out to me was one that Morgan decides to use his group as bait. I don't know what you want to call it, but I'm thinking, oh my God, Sherry is pregnant. He's going to give up Sherry. That's
what I thought too. Yeah.
I didn't like that. I'm like, no, No, Morgan. I'm sure in Morgan's mind, he's like, you know what? I'm going to tell him this, but we're going to save Sherry anyways. But I'm like, still, you're putting her on the line, man. You're putting her on the line.
Exactly. And then he doesn't even know what he's walking into. He doesn't know how they're organized, how many people are there, what kind of weapons they have, what their ulterior. This woman, the Ava lady who was supposedly pregnant, she probably would have had the baby and then they would have killed her, you know?
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, that's the reality of that situation. So it's kind of curious to think that Morgan wouldn't realize that after all of the shit that they've gone through and all these communities that they've run into, if you don't walk the line, you're out. They kill you.
Yeah.
So,
but he wants to do anything he can to get baby Mo back.
Well, I understand
that's scary.
But
that's a scary feeling, that the fact that somebody has that baby, you know, I was like, God, I can't believe she gave that. I mean, I know she just does it. It's just random babies to her, but it's just still surprising that Madison did that. And then when Madison's reaction to when her kids were, to find out what happened to her kids, I was feeling it because we saw her, you know, what happened to Nick. Yeah. And so for her to feel that again, and the fact that Morgan had to tell her how that happened, I just thought that was a moving moment for probably all of us, because we all were there. We all saw Nick pass away. And then, you know, we're not sure what happened to Alicia. She might be gone. She might not be gone. We don't know. But
no, she's dead.
So
you know she's dead.
I will say, I'm jumping ahead again, that on The Talking Dead, Chris Hardwick says, oh, and I found it so interesting that he said this. He goes, oh, Alicia's not dead. And he turns around and says to Kim Dickens, you know, just so you know, Alicia's not dead. And she's like, oh, okay. And so I'm like, oh, does he know something?
No,
is he just saying
that?
Is that his thought?
No, he's just saying that.
No, he believes it.
No,
he believes it.
No, he doesn't. He was being snarky. He wasn't. She's not dead. Don't worry about it. Be a good, you know, I don't want you to be upset.
I'm gonna cry.
She left the show. She left the show.
So did Madison. So did Kim Dickens.
Yeah, but how long? How long did it take?
Lauren Cohan, too.
I know. Yeah, but Kim Dickens actually has had a career more so than either of those two actresses because they're so young.
I know.
So she didn't have to come back. You know,
she loved this role, though.
Right,
yeah,
right. But I'm just saying, she must have, you know, because she's done so many things. Did you ever get the Western? Remember the Western?
Yes. I haven't watched all of it. I watched some of it.
Deadwood. She was main character in Deadwood.
Yeah.
That's where I first saw her. And then she started popping up in all this other stuff just as, you know, secondary character, day player or whatever. And I thought, wow, she really has had a career. So.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So I'm still holding on hope. I like the idea that we don't really know for sure. Even though you think 100% she is, I'm holding out hope.
Well, she's
holding out hope. Holding out hope. They didn't show her die. Not believing
but the
it.
show's got to be renewed a few more times for her to have time to go out, get her feet wet, and come back. So.
All right.
Then there's the movie. They could do a movie like Sex in the City, right?
Yes.
Like 20 years later. So who wants to see those chicks 20 years later?
I did watch the show, by the way.
Oh my
I did
God.
watch that show.
Did you
it was
really?
Pretty good. Yes, I liked it.
Really?
I didn't even watch Sex in the City, but I watched the show, the revival. It was good. I liked it.
The revival. Okay, I thought you meant the series. I was going to be like,
no. Yeah. Okay, back to Fear the Walking Dead. Tell me, did you have any other thoughts or tidbits about this episode that stood out to you?
A lot of the visuals were interesting. I liked all the little heads lining the shore. I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
The crab attached to the nose.
Yes.
Not so much. I mean,
I liked it.
And then her doing that 360 thing, knocking out all the guys with the sledgehammer. Sledgehammers are heavy. So she's got and takes lung power. So I'm not really sure. You know, obviously her lungs were damaged in the fire, but I don't know why oxygen would be the way to go to help her. But I don't know. You know, I'm sure they'll explain it. It's not like she's got tuberculosis or anything. So
yeah,
I'm not really sure. And then you just have to wonder, because when your lungs, if you can't breathe, you can't do a whole lot of stuff. I mean, you have no energy whatsoever.
Right.
So But she looked pretty good, and I liked the new energy. I mean, there was definitely new energy that went on in the show. So that's my main takeaway from that show. I can't wait. And it really was a good lead into, or a good build for season 8, because now we're all like, what's going to happen now?
Right.
So.
Yes. So you had mentioned about Morgan being in that tree. And I just thought that was very interesting that raft was in the tree. And I know they've done that before, but the fact that he did this all on his own. And I think before someone helped him get in that tree. Anyway, I'm thinking, how did he do this with a baby? That's a pretty big raft, and putting it in that tree. How did he do that? And then how did he get down? Because there was a walker down there. Why do I think these things? I don't know, but I just found that very interesting.
But when he unzipped the thing and the guy's face was right there.
I know.
So he must have been on something.
Yeah.
Standing.
Must have been. Yeah.
I don't know. I had the same questions, but I thought, well, you just tie it up there. And then,
it's a pretty heavy.
And then scale it. No, wow. You empty it out. It's all flat. I don't know.
It's still pretty heavy, even though. Yeah. I think it's still heavy. Okay. I mean, not heavy like a metal boat, but it's still heavy.
Well,
I mean, it's made pretty well.
Yeah, but you just heave-ho it, right? You put it over the crotch of a tree.
I guess. But that's the thing. He must have been there for a little while, like you said, to put that up there.
I know.
And then he takes it down. So I don't know. I don't know about that raft in the tree. And then Baby Mo. Okay, I did think Baby Mo was such a well-behaved, even though she cries, she's a well-behaved baby because she has to be an actress. She's on set. So I thought, okay, I gotta give it.
How many are there of that baby?
Yeah, that's what I wondered too, right?
There's probably 3 total.
Maybe, possibly. And also that when he put the headphones on her and it's Grace singing, sitting on the dock of the bay, I was just singing along. I'm like, I love this. And I love that it's, from Georgia headed to the Frisco Bay. It just felt so... I don't know. I felt like I was a part of it somehow. I don't know why, but just liked it. And
your fantasy life.
It is. It's my fantasy life. And I did like Ava, even though she was a short-lived character. I mean, it's good at least when they do have these short-lived characters that they at least mean something, because I did like her character. Yeah. And I like that, like you said, that Madison and Morgan are headed on a boat to Padre. It was interesting to see them go there, and we were wondering as we were watching it, well, are they headed to the boat? The boat's not too big, but then the showrunner clarified that boat is going to Padre, so they're actually going to another place. Mm-hmm. So it'll be interesting to see where Padre really is. I did think that the scenery, the dock, looked super nice.
Oh, I know.
Water and everything.
Yeah.
I thought, where is this place, man? It's really kept up. And I too like the buried walker heads. I thought those were cool. And just a tidbit for people out there who didn't watch the Talking Dead. Kim Dickens talked about being buried in the sand and how that really wasn't sand. It was Chex and graham crackers.
Oh.
And that she was had to be buried like 3 hours in it, and then had to be buried. I went to lunch or did whatever she did, came back and had to be buried another 2 hours. So she had to really be buried in that sand for a long time. Yeah. I'm thinking, oh my God, if that was me, I would be like, I have to go to the bathroom. Can somebody give me a pee break, please?
Oh, she probably had a diaper on.
Yeah. Just like when I'm either sitting in the movies or diaper. That's a good idea. If I'm sitting at the movies or I'm in a plane, I always want to be at the end, because you get me trapped, and then that's when I feel like, do I have to go to the restroom? Do I have to go to the restroom now? I don't like it.
I have that fear on elevators.
That you have to go to the restroom?
On an elevator, it gets stuck, and then you're going to have to go. Like this morning, taking the old man elevator. The doors took so long to open. I'm like, are you going to open, or are you just going to stop? Now I got to get stuck in this elevator because I really got to go to the bathroom. But I made it. I made it.
The things, I'm so glad. The things we think about. All right, Margaret, we are at our segment, and the award goes to. So what was your favorite quote, character, or moment?
Oh, I just thoroughly enjoyed the fact that Madison is not necessarily one of my favorite characters, But I'm just glad that she's back because it brought a whole new life. So I don't really have a moment. I just like the whole thing because the energy was there, flow was there, the storyline was there. It just seemed like it was a much, a directional, pointed sort of episode. So it set up more things. I kind of missed that we didn't get to see anybody on their rafts to see where they ended up. I would have liked to have seen that. Where's Morgan? Or we're still out here, or we're out of food, some things. But it was so concentrated on just those two, so it was good. I liked it because it was just a full episode. We've talked about a lot of unique things visually and just situations that occurred during this episode. Were there any which stood out to you?
I would say, I'm going to tell you what gave me chills when I was actually watching it. And that was when Morgan realized he was talking to Madison. When he saw the names, Alicia, and then he looks at her wrist, the other wrist, and sees Nick. Oh, and he jumps back and he says, "Oh, dear God, you're Madison Clark." I got the chills, and I got chills, and I just appreciated his reaction. And she goes, "How the hell do you know who I am?" And all the things that must have been going through his head, because I was thinking the same thing, like, "Oh, I know your kids. Oh my God, your kids are, well, Nick is dead and Alicia's on her deathbed if she's not dead already. But you just missed her because, it's not been that long ago. She was living not very long ago. She was here." And so I just thought of all the things that he knew about her and knew it was her. And to think, oh man, Alicia, you just missed it. Oh God, it gave me chills. So that was my favorite moment. But I agree with you that it was a really good way to end this episode, because now we're anticipating what's going to happen in season 8. And I think that that's a really good way to end it up. So oh man, can't wait to see it. We're going to look forward to so many things. What happens to the rest of our group? What happens to Morgan and Madison, who Padre is. So I think it was a good season finale. So I'm really happy about that. Well, that wraps up our conversation on Fear the Walking Dead. So I wonder when the new season will start. I know.
I don't know.
But tell me, I would like to know, what else are you currently watching?
Oh my God. So I guess I had tried. So I loved Selling Sunset. And I loved, so that doesn't really tie into what I'm going to say, but just, I don't like reality TV shows, but I love Selling Sunset. And I thought, okay, here's another Hollywood, LA-based reality TV show, and it's Bling Empire. So we're into season 2. So that's what popped up on my screen. And I was like, well, on Netflix. But I thought, no, I want to go back to 1. So apparently I've already seen part of 1. But it follows these Americanized Asian people. They all live in Beverly Hills. They all go out and they just shop. They wear the designer stuff. And it just, I don't know. It's such a weird social situation to see who can spend more money on what. So I don't know. I'd like to like it. Not my cup of tea. Maybe it gets better. I don't know. So then the other thing that I saw was, for the movies, I watched Interceptor. So Interceptor refers to, and I don't know if this is all fiction or if there's more than just this, but the movie starts out with showing how this one Interceptor army base is invaded by the enemy and everybody gets killed because they're not anticipating it. But the Interceptor basically is the missile that they shoot off to intercept any missiles that are coming over to bomb the cities and, the atomic bombs, all that kind of stuff. So I thought it looked kind of interesting. And it lead character is a female, so it's girl power. And she, of course, has this spotty history because it's this huge blow up about this general. And he was demoted and she was sent off to Siberia or whatever they do with them. So then she got stationed on the second. So there's 2 locations and one is in Alaska. The other one is in the middle of the ocean where you don't know where it is. So she shows up, and within 20 minutes, this other base up there in Alaska is being wiped out by these guys, killing everybody, so they could get control of these missiles. So, of course, you have murder, you have mayhem, you have all this kind of stuff. And it was entertaining. Chris Hemsworth was a producer, and he has a little cameo as this burnt-out hippie Best Buy selling kind of guy. And they're watching all this on live feed. It was interesting. It was, 90-minute movie. So it was a quick, entertaining, sort of impossible scenario, but it was fun. So.
Isn't she Chris Hemsworth's wife?
Oh, I don't know. Is she? Is he married? She's Hispanic or something.
Yeah, that's his wife.
Is it?
She was, and I think she was also in Fast and the Furious.
Oh,
as the one of the cops.
Interesting. I didn't realize that. Well, that makes more sense now. I didn't even know he was married. I don't follow him.
I like him. Actually, I saw the new Thor trailer come out, and I'm like, I want to see that. I love Thor movies. So
I want to see the Jurassic Park thing. Oh my God,
yeah.
that looks really good. So
yes, she's married to Chris Hemsworth. She's from Madrid, Spain.
Okay,
so they have 3 kids.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
Wow, she's like muscle. She's all muscle.
Yeah.
No fat on that body.
They probably work out together.
Oh my God, they probably wrestle all the time, and then they have another kid. Let's go for number 4. So I debated watching Lincoln Lawyer, but you watched it? How many?
I did. I watched Lincoln Lawyer. I just actually started last night because I wanted to be able to give a recommendation. It's on Netflix. I did like it. I liked it.
Really?
It's an LA hotshot lawyer, Mickey Haller. You don't see this, but he's sidelined by an injury. He gets hooked on pills, pain pills.
Yeah.
And then, so his career goes down in the dumps, but he's ready, he gets himself better. And it opens with a man who happens to be a lawyer gets killed right within the first few minutes.
Oh.
It turns out that lawyer gave his whole practice to Mickey.
Oh.
And so Mickey, and I guess he has a lot of big, huge clients, and it means a lot. So
like
this is
corrupt clients or good clients?
No, good clients, like big,
legit.
high profile. Okay. It's a good clientele. And so Mickey has to step up to the plate. And so it's his opportunity to
get clean.
But he has, some of them are that day. Like he finds out he needs to, he gets this law firm and then he has to go that day and figure out if he can get a continuance. And sometimes the other, the prosecutor doesn't want a continuance, and it's just like all of that back and forth. So it's very exciting. But the thing about Mickey is he has 2 ex-wives, and one of them is Nev, is it Nev Campbell?
Yeah.
Nev Campbell, and he has a daughter, so they're in it. And then he has another ex-wife who I believe is his assistant now, but they're divorced. And so she helps him out. And then his very first client that he helps in this new law firm, he gets the case dismissed for her. I don't want to give too much away, but it's important because he hires her to become his driver, and she drives him around in his Lincoln, and he does all his work as he's driving around in this Lincoln. That's why it's the Lincoln Lawyer, like the movie with Matthew McConaughey.
Based on the book.
Yeah, based on the book. That's absolutely right. So this is a David E. Kelly project.
Oh, okay.
I saw the first few episodes. They were really good. And I will tell you, the first few episodes were good because sometimes it takes me a while to get into something. No, I liked it. Mm-hmm. I thought that the actor portraying this, he's a Mexican guy. His name is Manuel Garcia Rulfo. Oh. He was in Magnificent Seven.
Like the remake of
the remake. He's in that. I really liked him in that. He's been in a few other movies that I've seen him in. And so he's in this now. And I just really liked him. I think he does have a charisma about him. And so
he's very
I'm
bristled,
liking it.
Like rough around the edges.
Yeah. And that's probably what I kind of like.
Yeah.
And I know that in the 4th episode, the reason it came to mind, and this was about right before it premiered, my cousin's son is an actor in LA. And so he was saying that he was in the 4th episode, I believe, as a cop. So, of course, I want to watch it. So I want to support him because he's in it. And so I can't wait to get to episode 4 so that I can see him. His name is Brian. So
in the show or in life?
No, his real name is Brian. Oh, I don't know what his name is in the episode, but he's supposed to be a cop, I believe, a young cop. tune in to Lincoln Lawyer. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, Margaret. Well, thank you for hanging out with me today.
Oh, you're welcome. Oh, can I just say?
Yes, what?
I started to watch the David Letterman interview.
Oh, I love that show. Yes, I've seen them.
Looks really interesting. I wanted to sit down and actually consume it. I saw him talking to, what's her face? The singer. You know, the singer. With the
Jennifer
blonde
Lopez,
hair.
Rihanna,
No.
Adele.
No, with blonde hair.
Who?
The green, the chick.
Lady Gaga.
Oh my God. No, with the brother. Phineas and...
Oh, Billie Eilish?
Yeah, that's the one that I started to watch. And I thought it was fascinating. I thought it was really good. And I saw that
I love all of them. I didn't used to watch David Letterman, but I watched these from the beginning, like when he first did it. I think this is his third season.
Is it?
Okay. I haven't watched every single one episode, but I have watched a bulk of them. I think he's so good.
He is good.
I have a new appreciation for David Letterman. He's really good at his interview. Of course, he had a show for so long. So
Yeah, but it was shticky. And people wrote it. And this is more authentic, I think, of him.
Yes,
just being a curious, just involved. So, no, I liked it.
Thank you for your recommendations, Margaret.
Oh, you're welcome. Ooh.
That's our show. Thanks for tuning in. We are grateful you tuned in, and we hope something we said today resonated with you, gave you a chuckle, some happiness, some positivity, or inspiration. Please go to screensinfocus.com. You can connect with me there and tell a friend. We would love more members of our TV club. We are going on a summer break, but I will be putting out periodic releases, so look for those. We'll be back with The Dead in the summer and in the fall, or when those return and are released. But check out Screens in Focus blog for more recommendations. We'll see you next time. Bye.